Peace and blessings, beautiful souls. Welcome to Positivity is the Key. And we welcome you tonight. We're excited about you being here with us. And please, as you come in, please like the show. Please leave your comments. We really love to hear your comments, and we are looking forward to seeing what you have to say about our subject tonight. The name of this, my name is Jeannie Muhammad. I am your happiness coach, and you can contact me. And I am struggling here to make sure that you can see my banner. You can contact me at iamjeaniem.com. That is my website. My email is Jeannie at iamjeaniem.com. So if you know that I can be of service to you, please contact me. I am Jeannie Muhammad. So with that, I would like to welcome uh, my co-host for this evening, Lenora Martin.
Mhm.
You can just tell us something about yourself.
Sure. So it's Leona Martin, and I am the proud owner of LCM Career and Life Coaching. I hail from Boston, Massachusetts, and I work primarily with clinical professionals of color, and I help them navigate the career or the job search process. Because as we all know, looking for a job can be very daunting. And what I do with them is that I educate them, I motivate them, and most of all, I elevate them to career
Oh,
success.
yes.
We build a roadmap to success. And I'm so very passionate about what I do. I was a clinical corporate recruiter for many years and decided to take it on the road for myself and educate others so that they could, get into the healthcare field, and have not such a difficult time, kind of breaking into that area. Um,
Oh,
be- yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, thank
That's the
you.
short version. There's so much more I could say, but I won't.
Yes, ma'am. Well, maybe you'll have an opportunity at some point during
Yeah.
the show to expand
Yes.
on that. But I
Yes.
see Regina. She's with us. Isn't that? Hi, Regina. Thank
Hi,
you for joining
Regina.
us.
Hi,
Yes,
Regina.
yes. And I want to thank you, Regina, because it's always good to have people come in and interact with us. And please, Regina, like the show and please share it. We would appreciate that if you would just share it. I am going to go to our title tonight for our show is the benefits of adversity. And this is a subject that Leona and I have discussed several times, and it's a holdover from the show that we did today on the Coaches Corner, talking about how to overcome adversity. And now we want to talk about the benefits of adversity, because there are benefits in it, even though sometimes when we're going through our pain and suffering, we don't
Mhm.
understand the blessing that can be there. And somebody may say, well, I'm suffering right now, I'm in pain,
Mhm.
somebody and this is I'm not saying this is what anybody's situation is. If you're homeless, you could be homeless, you could be
Mhm.
taking care of me. At one time, I was a caregiver for both my sister
Mhm.
that had cancer and my mother that had
Mhm.
a stroke, and I was helping take care of both of them. And it was really
Mm.
hard for me. And at the time, I really didn't see how it was in some way a benefit to me. But
Yeah.
we're going to talk about that,
Yeah.
because adversity, there can be benefits in adversity. And I'm going to go to our first point right here,
Mhm,
and I'm going to go to you, Lenora, so that you can help me with this subject. Help to
mhm,
recognize limitations. That's one of the benefits of
mhm,
adversity. Is that it helps us to recognize our
mhm.
limitations.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And, the thing is, yeah, we may have limitations, but we shouldn't allow those to cripple us. What we need to do is just be okay with and open to asking for help. There's
Yes,
no need to suffer in silence. And I think a lot of people do that. Either they're afraid to ask for help, or they're afraid of their vulnerability. They're afraid that they'll be viewed as something less. There are just so many reasons why people won't do it, but it's not a good idea to suffer in silence.
no,
Um,
and I think one thing that it does is
mhm.
we don't like to be turned down if we ask for help.
Right,
you
right.
know we
That's right.
we, we are afraid of being putting ourselves out there
Hmm.
and asking for help, and
Right,
then having someone say no.
right,
I
right.
know that when I was taking care of my mom
Hmm.
and my sister, I have
Hmm.
other relatives that could have helped, and sometimes I would ask for help and they wouldn't help me.
Yes, yeah.
And
Hmm. Hmm.
that was very hurting.
Yes,
That was
yeah,
a very and so
yeah.
sometimes, in order to shield ourselves from that pain of
Right,
being turned down, we would
right.
just suffer in silence.
Exactly, exactly. And the thing about that too, Jeannie, is that yes, we may get turned down by some, but I always say your guardian angel is always out there somewhere.
Yes.
There's always somebody that's there to help, to lift a finger, just to really be your cheerleader, to be in your corner. You just have to find them. And sometimes you don't have to look very far, because sometimes God just places them in your life at the right moment.
Yes.
you know
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and my mom had a saying, and in the South, that we're good for always having those sayings. And she
Mhm.
would say, "A closed mouth will not get fed."
Yes, yes, yes. I used to hear that all the time. And
Uh,
if I remember when I first heard that, I kinda said, what does that mean? What's that all about?" But, as you grow older and get more mature, you really get it, because basically, if you close your mouth, you're not gonna get fed. You're not gonna get what you need, because you won't allow it to happen.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
And sometimes it's a pride thing. you
right.
know
It is.
we have so much pride. And I know, and I always take myself as an example, because I
Mhm,
always say that I have been blessed to experience so much in my life that
mhm,
is virtually no subject that I approach that at some point I
mhm.
haven't experienced that myself.
Right.
And I know that because I had so much pride at
Mhm.
one time,
Yeah.
that I I'm going to tell this story. At one time, because I was so
Mhm.
proudful,
Mhm.
I worked for Time Warner Cable, and I had
Mm.
worked there
Mhm.
for years, but
Yes.
I didn't have transportation, and
Mm.
I didn't want anyone to know I
You
did
know?
not have
Yeah.
transportation.
Yeah.
So I would wait until everyone else had left
Yeah.
the job,
Yeah.
and then I would have to try to walk, a distance, and
Yeah.
because I didn't want anybody to know I needed a ride.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
now I look
Yeah.
at it and I say, man, I could have gotten a ride with all kind of people.
Yeah. And you know what, Jeannie? I have a similar story. I remember, my very first job, I was a secretary at MIT. And I remember what back then when I had my first apartment, I was a single parent with my little daughter, and I lived in public housing.
Hmm.
And there were times when people offered to give me rides home, or they would ask, "Oh, do you need a lift or anything?" And I would always say, "Nope, nope, I'm good. I'm good." I didn't want them to know that I lived in public housing, because they all appeared to be, people that had much more means than I, but I didn't know that for sure. But I wasn't feeling good about where I was at the time.
That's right. And
Mhm,
sometimes because of that pride thing, um, and we are going through an adversity
mhm.
and we suffer because of that. We don't want other people to know the where we are in our lives,
Right.
and so therefore sometimes we don't get the help we need.
Exactly. Exactly. I know. I know. And you said the key word, it's pride, and
Yes.
as you mature, you realize that you have to put that pride away, you
Yes.
know, because pride will get you nowhere. Yes, I understand. Yes, you want to be proud. You want to have some pride, but not when it gets in the way of you getting the help that you need.
Right, because to me, pride, the pride that you're saying that we need is dignity.
Yes, that's
You
right.
want to be dignified,
That's right.
and you don't want to, just
Yeah.
be unrefined
Right.
and coarse and
Right.
and
That's
and
right.
so you take pride in the way you look, you take
Mhm.
pride in the way you dress, you
Right.
take pride in,
That's right.
the way you talk. You don't
Right.
want to just talk any,
Right. Right.
be spewing that just
Mhm.
anything. So you
Mhm.
take pride in the way you
Right.
present yourself.
Right. And you
But
and you
that,
wanna uphold a certain image about who you
yes,
are.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes. And so you take pride in that. But at
Yes,
the
that's
same time, the pride that I'm talking about is that pride that stops you from opening up to other people.
that's right. That's right.
You
That's right.
know,
Yeah.
that's the pride that can really, really, really hurt us when we're going through an adverse condition. Now remember, the name of
Mhm.
this show is Positivity is the Key. See, and
Right.
once you come into that positive mindset,
Right.
because
Right.
coming into that positive mindset means that you come to understand yourself better.
That's right. That's
You
right.
come to love yourself, who
Yes.
you
Yes.
are,
Right.
what you are,
Right.
where you are, and
Right.
so therefore you can open up more.
Right. And you can do that irregardless of the, infirmities that you may possess. It doesn't matter because you are who you are. And yes, I have some things, I have some challenges, but it's okay. You
That's
know,
right.
I'll get through this. I have to persevere. And if I want to get what I need, I have to allow myself to be vulnerable.
That's right. That's
Hmm.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that takes, that's easy to say, but it's not
Mhm.
always easy to do.
I know, and I'm not. Yeah, definitely. I know that it's as my mom used to say, it's easier said than done.
That's right, because we know, well, I'll speak for myself. Where I am today, it didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
Where I
Oh,
am
definitely.
today,
Yeah.
it's been in the making in years. It's been
Yes.
years
Yes.
in the
Same here.
making.
Yeah.
And I still haven't reached that point where I know I've reached the pinnacle. I'm
Hmm.
still
Hmm.
growing, but
Hmm.
but I know that I'm so much farther along than I was,
Yeah.
at one
Oh,
time.
right. Yeah, because what I say to people is, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm a lot further than where I was.
Yes,
You know,
ma'am.
and
Yes,
I
ma'am.
I don't wanna go back there. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward. I'm looking at that road ahead of me.
Yes, ma'am. And
Yeah.
right, but you see the progress. You see
Yes.
the progress.
That's right.
I'm
That's
gonna
right.
move to our next point
Okay.
about the benefits of adversity. it helps to grow character, resilience, and creativity.
Mhm, mhm.
That's a
Yes.
benefit of
Yes.
adversity. And then again, I have I have this story
Uh-huh.
about going through a time when uh, we didn't have a lot. We
Mhm,
were struggling. My mom and I were struggling and living on her social security
mhm.
because I had to be there with her 24/7 and
Yeah.
I did not have an income. But
Mhm.
my mom had taught me how to sew. And I think I
Oh.
relayed this story to when we were on Coach's Corner one morning
Mhm,
about how my mom had taught me to sew, but I hate sewing because she would insist when I was a child
mhm,
that I help her sew because that's how she earned extra money. She was an excellent seamstress. So,
mhm, mhm.
Lenora, she could look at a pattern or look at a dress design and cut out the pattern. I
Wow.
mean, you
Wow.
know, yeah, she could just look at the a dress. People would bring
Uh-huh.
her pictures
Uh-huh.
of dresses that they wanted made, and they
Yeah.
would show her the picture, and
Wow.
she could measure them, and cut out a pattern
Okay. Okay.
specific to that person.
Okay.
Now, and so she was very talented,
Yes, indeed.
seamstress, and
Mhm.
she hadn't been taught any of this. This was just something
Yeah.
that was a natural talent
Yeah.
that she had.
Yeah.
But she would insist that I help her sew. So I
Okay.
am an excellent seamstress,
Okay.
but I
Uh-huh.
hate sewing. I hate
Do
it
you?
because, yes, because I was forced to sew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
It
it's
wasn't
not as
something you
bad,
wanted to do on your own.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Mhm.
when I was taking care of my mom and I had to figure out a way to make money, believe
Mm.
me, Lenora, I started sewing.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
I got
Mhm.
creative with it.
I bet. I bet. Yeah, and just the creativity. I mean, just as I think about character, resilience, and creativity, I mean, we as I just think about we as a people, we've always been able to make something out of nothing, you
Yes.
know, and that's part of how we persevered, how we pushed through, and it built character, it built resilience. And yes, we had to get pretty darn creative when we were growing up poor.
Yes.
We had
Yes.
to.
Yeah, because I think I relayed this to you also.
Hmm.
I can remember my mom cooking, and she would fix up meals and stretch them so far,
Hmm.
and I don't
Yes.
know, she would add a little of this and
Yeah.
add a little of that,
Yeah.
and
Right.
and
Right.
the next thing you know, you had something that was delicious,
I bet.
but it came out of that adverse condition that we were in, the
Yes.
poverty that we were in, but
Right.
but because of that, we learned not to depend on other people for anything.
Yes. That's
We
right.
didn't we
That's
didn't
right.
we didn't we
Yeah.
always, my father taught us to
Right.
be
Right.
work,
Hmm. Hmm.
he
And
taught
you know
us.
what, Jeannie? I think that also, it also comes back to the first thing we were talking about in terms of not asking for help. Because the way we were
Oh
raised that
yes.
you need to do things for yourself. You shouldn't have to ask. You should figure it out. Because that's the way I came up. Figure it out. Just
Yes.
yeah,
So you know what? I'm looking at that. That's a two-edged sword because on
yeah.
one end it teaches you that independence, and then on the other end you can
I
be too.
know.
So you have to
Yeah.
have that balance.
Right. That's right. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. You got to have that balance. And, gosh, who knew? While who knew that what they were telling us we needed to do when we were growing up would turn out to be one of our biggest struggles as an adult and try to figure out how to turn that around,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. Yeah,
Hmm.
and and
Hmm.
and and that's so true because I know, and thinking back, having this conversation, that was one of our, because we didn't want anybody to know how poor we were.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
We
Yeah.
didn't want anybody to know
Right.
how we were struggling.
Right. Right. But you know what? And in spite of that, Jeannie, though, I remember, growing up, not having much of anything, but I always remember being a happy kid
Yes.
in spite of
Isn't that
that.
something?
Yes, yes. So we had parents, as a result of their adversities, they made sure that we had what we needed. They never let on to us that they were struggling.
Isn't that something? Isn't
Hmm.
that something? And you
Yeah.
know what? Another thing about the creativity, I'm thinking, because as we're talking, I'm thinking about how, as children, my mother would make us toys. We didn't, we
Mm,
didn't, we didn't understand it
yeah.
was because she couldn't afford to buy the toys. We just
Right.
thought it was great that she was making us
Exactly.
dolls
Oh,
and
yeah. Right. Right. Because she was giving you what you wanted. It didn't matter where it came from
yes.
or how she got it for you. The point was you had it.
Yes. Yes. So, and
So
you're right about the thinking about, even though we were going through the adversity, my parents would always, especially my mother. My mother was the one that I look back on. She was the one that provided that laughter. She
yes,
was the
yes,
one that
yes,
provided
same
that.
here. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, same here. There was always fun and as you grow older and you think back, when we realize the struggle that they had, you just applaud them for having done such a great job with us in spite of what they were dealing with inside,
Yes. Yes.
you know?
Yes. And really understand that, even though they were providing,
Mhm,
especially with my mother, I know my
mhm,
mother, really had a hard time because she was in an abusive relationship with my father.
mhm.
But at the same, so she really did know how to deal with adversity,
Mm,
because she would play with us.
yeah,
She would,
yeah.
every Sunday she would have school. She taught
Mm,
us, she would have, after church every Sunday we would have school. She
yeah,
would, she taught us how to read and write, and
yeah,
our
yeah.
names and stuff. And
Mhm.
so she really did work through, and as we talk, I'm just falling more and more in love with her
Yes,
resilience.
I know. I
Mhm.
know, I
Um,
know. And the resilience, the creativity. Yeah, because I know my mom grew up in the South and she, I always applaud the strength that she had because my mom's mother died at childbirth.
okay.
So she never knew her mom, but her grandparents raised her. And they taught her, just the whole, how to build character, resilience, and all of that good stuff. And she instilled it in her children, and same with them going back. They were struggling and poor as well, but they managed, they persevered, and they did what they needed to do to take care of their families.
Yes. And
So,
I'm gonna move because, oh, time is moving. We're just having such a good
oh,
time
I
here.
know. We always do, Jeannie.
Yes. One of the other benefits of adversity is we find our true strength.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I know. Because you go through things and sometimes you look back and you say, wow, something you may have done something that got you through and you say, wow, how did I do that? So for example, I think back about how and we talked about this, Jeannie, about how I was a teenage mom,
Yes.
and very young, and a single mom, an unwed mom. And some of the things that I did as I grew older with my child and as she grew older, I looked back sometime and I'd say, wow, how did I do that? I managed to
Yeah.
keep a job, a roof over our head, and and I had some great jobs when I was young with her as a single parent. And I just pushed on. I didn't let anything hold me back.
See,
That was the
see,
strength that I carried. I was determined that I was going to be somebody and something,
yes.
you
And see,
know.
and that's when we say going through the adversities,
Mhm.
because we all have a choice in
Mhm.
life.
Yeah.
We
Yes,
we
we
have
do.
we have we have choices that we can make.
Mhm.
And as we come up and we go through our different things
Mhm.
that happen to us, because life is going to happen. And in
Yes.
fact, there was a question that was asked on the coach's corner today, that
Mm.
how do we prepare for adversity?
Mm.
And I wanted to go back and talk
Yeah.
to the person that raised that question, because one of the ways that we prepare for adversity and how we find our true strength in
Mhm.
adversity
Mhm.
is looking back on where we have been,
Mm. Yes.
you know,
Yes. That's
and
right.
knowing that life is a
Yeah.
cycle,
It
you know,
is. And
you're
it's full
going,
of surprises.
yes,
We just never know what we're gonna be confronted with, so we have to be ready, so we
yes,
don't have to get ready,
that's right.
you
And a
know?
lot of times I say also, uh, we have to stay prayed up. I say that all the time, you know,
Mm.
we have to,
Mm.
a lot of times when we don't ask for the help of our creator until
Mm.
we are in an adverse situation. But
Yeah.
if we, and see, to me, prayers of gratitude,
Yes.
those are the prayers that especially
Yeah.
that you offer when times are going great. You just
Yes.
say thank you,
I
thank
know.
you,
I
thank
know.
you.
Absolutely. And you know what? I'm just looking at a comment from Frances. And she said, "Me too. I was told many times I would never be anything."
Oh,
And that, if that doesn't move you and keep you moving, although there are those who will wallop in that and fall into that, but then most people, I think, they're determined to make that a lie. That
yes,
somebody told them that, and they're gonna be determined to prove you wrong. You know,
yes.
and
And
that's a
you know what?
strength in itself.
And I understand, Francis, because when I was a child, I was told a lot of things that I
Hmm.
grew up believing to be true, and what they did was I went through a lot of hell for a lot of years
Hmm. Hmm.
because I had those beliefs in my
Yeah.
head. But it was only after I realized that I have a choice.
Yes,
I have a
that's right.
choice.
Right.
You know,
That's right. Yeah,
I,
we have a choice to either listen to what they say and prove them right, or go the opposite direction and do
that's
something
right.
better than that and prove them wrong,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
Mhm.
Someone said that the best revenge is success.
Yes. Yes, it is. I believe that.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. Because
Yes.
some people will say, "Oh, you'll never," like Francis said, "you'd never be anything. Oh, you can't do that," or "Why would you do that?" Or, all of those negative things, but you with your positive mindset, you'll build the strengths that you need to carry on and to push through.
Yes, and that's why
Mhm.
it's important that we change our mindset
Mm.
to one of positivity and
Yes.
reject all of that negativity
Negative.
that is
Yeah.
fed to us on a daily
Right.
basis. That's
Right.
why I embrace people.
Mm.
I try to love on people.
Yes.
I tried to put out that positivity, because to me, that is what is going to defeat all the negativity
Yes.
that is put
Absolutely.
out. And
Yes.
and and you're so right.
Mhm.
Um uh Oh, Francis said she was headstrong and proved them wrong.
Yes,
That's
yes, uh-huh, uh-huh. And I know Frances, and she's a tough cookie.
oh, okay.
Every time they said don't, can't, won't, or whatever they said, Fran was on a mission to do it and do it well.
Okay. Well, see, that was our subject today on the
Yes.
coaches. Adversity can be a motivator.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because yeah, it just motivates you to push on, push on. I know I can do this. And listening to the gentleman that spoke today on the Coach's Corner, he was phenomenal. I mean, the adversity that he experienced and to see where he is today, if that's not a testament of strength, perseverance, and everything else, resilience, all of those things, nothing
Ye-
is, you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you're so right, Francis. She said by the grace of God. And
Yes.
that's what I was saying,
Yes.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
that to really always uh be thankful and be
Yeah.
grateful for where we
Right.
are,
That's
and
right.
look at where we were blessed to come from. And you
Right.
know what, Lenore, we come up on that half hour. Didn't the time go
It
fast?
went so fast. That's because we're talking good stuff. We're having a good time. I love
Yes.
this conversation.
Yeah, and you know what? I can be tired before
Mm,
we start talking and be
mhm.
kind of, listless. But the
Yeah.
minute we start talking and really getting
Yes.
into this subject of being
Yes.
positive, and how
Yes.
it really it lifts my spirits,
Yeah.
and it just puts me on a natural high.
Yeah,
So
and
I
it's
am
it's
so thankful.
energizing. It's inspirational and it's energizing,
Yes,
you
and I
know?
want to thank Francis
Mm,
for your input, and thank you
yes,
for being here with us this
yes,
evening, because
yeah,
it is always great to
mhm.
know that something that we're saying is,
It
being
resonates, yeah,
validated, and
yeah,
that it is lifting someone's spirit. So
right,
I am
right.
Jeannie Muhammad. Do you have final thoughts, Lenora, before?
I would just say, you know, in terms of, being positive and finding your strengths and everything, I would just say, just really set out a path for yourself. Set some goals. And also just even if you're going through a tough time, set some goals anyway, because you're not going to be in that space forever if you're working towards moving and persevering and getting on the right track. So just come up with a vision statement if you must, and just set some goals so that you have something to work towards. And you know what?
Yes.
Those goals can always be adjusted. Don't
Yes.
beat up on yourself if you get to, I don't know, maybe a 6 month point and you haven't accomplished any of those goals. Well, maybe you need to revise them, but don't give up on them.
That's right. That's right. And
Hmm.
thank you, because that is so important that
Hmm.
we not give up.
Yeah.
Because I know, again, using myself as an example,
Hmm.
that there are times when I have wanted to give up in different areas of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Hmm.
uh, just a few months down the road, what I was struggling with becomes history. The
Yes.
answer,
Yes.
because as long as as you said, Lenora, as long as you have those goals that you're working towards,
Right.
as long as you have a destination
Right.
that you
That's right.
are working
That's
towards,
right. That's right. That's
you
right.
know, and
Yeah.
you keep your focus on that.
Right, right. And the other thing I will just add real quickly too, Jeannie, is what do you want to leave as your legacy?
Yes.
Because that's something that I've been thinking a lot about lately is what do I want my legacy to be like for my family, for my friends or just whomever, what do you want your legacy to be and look like?
That's
You
right.
know,
That's
you
right.
wanna know and feel that you're leaving something behind that somebody can either use, be happy about, be proud of, and especially your family, but you wanna leave a legacy, of
Yes.
positivity. Yes.
Yes, the same way that we're saying about our parents
Mm,
and looking back on what they instilled in us
yeah.
and understanding that we are where we are today because of
Mm,
their what they gave us, their legacy.
yes.
They may not have had a lot of money or
Right,
or what to give us,
right.
but they did instill that character in us. They
Oh,
instilled resilience in us.
absolutely.
They instilled
Absolutely.
creativity in us.
Mhm. That we'll carry on for to our kids, our grandkids, our great grandkids.
Yes.
It'll just keep going through generations.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you again for a
You're
beautiful
welcome.
evening.
It was
Thank you for a
fun.
beautiful evening.
Yes.
And you want to tell again your
Mhm.
business and just let every
Yes, yes. So again, I am Leona Martin, and I am the business owner of LCM Career Coaching. And I work primarily with clinical professionals of color, but I work with others as well. But I absolutely love what I do and would love to hear from you. My email is streaming, and you can email me. I'm on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear from you if you wanted to chit chat. If you're thinking about a career change or anything, I'd love to talk with you.
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
I am Jeannie Muhammad, your happiness coach. My business is Freedom to Live, and I help domestic violence survivors travel that journey from victimhood to godhood. I help all those. I mainly is women, but
Mm,
I'm open to helping men also.
yeah.
If they will, kind of drop that macho and
Yes,
be willing
yes.
to admit that they need
Right.
help.
Mhm.
My website is IamJeannieM.com. My email is Jeannie@IamJeannieM.com.
Mm.
And again, thank you so much for being with us.
Yes,
And until we meet again, stay safe and
yes,
stay blessed.
yes, yes. Thank you again, Jeannie, and thank you, viewers. This was great. I hope you got some good nuggets out of our conversation tonight.
Yes.
Take
All
care.
right. My
Bye-bye.
wave.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I love it.